welcome back to the Dan Corder Show. South Africa is a movie. They're still awake, and so are you. Thank you so much for joining us. Right, time for our final big interview of tonight's show. Pride Month is coming to an end, and South Africa has got such a vibrant and incredible queer scene of amazing, amazing culture makers whose impact on music and fashion and live events is making an impact across the whole world. And one of the creative geniuses who's done so many years of such phenomenal work, which has led to Lelowhatsgood actually being flown all over the world, DJing in the best places, meeting the biggest people, is here tonight to talk about it. So without further ado, please welcome the wonderful Lelowhatsgood to the Dan Corder Show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So just so the good people in the audience know, Lelo threw an iconic party in Joburg CBD this weekend. It is amazing that you do not look hungover.
Yeah.
You need to tell me who your skin sponsor is or something. But let's start at the start. Tell me a little bit about Vogue Nights Johannesburg. The latest event was just this weekend.
Yeah. So we were celebrating our 7th year birthday. Yeah, it really has just been a journey, starting this thing in 2018 and seeing how it has grown and quite literally changed lives for not only queer people, but for a lot of people in Johannesburg. We just wanted to have like a place where we can, when people can express themselves, to feel free, to feel safe, because I feel like there's not a lot of, events in Johannesburg where people can really just be who they want to be and, hold hands and, just use the same bathrooms. And there's so many intricate little details in an event that people, pass over by. And I think we're one of the very few events and organizers who actually hold space for a lot of queer people and women and allies. And yeah, I'm really excited that we have come this far.
It's amazing. So just so you guys understand, it's a huge warehouse, pitch black, strobe lights, disco balls, runway, DJ set. It was like so cool, right? It was like, as a venue, so sick. And it was kind of almost open air, even though it was like Saturday night. It was like 4 degrees in Joburg on Saturday night. But people were so warm because they were jolling and partying. And then what happens at Vogue Nights, please explain what Ballroom is, because there was these competition categories, these events that people did.
Yeah, so basically Ballroom is, it's an underground scene that started in the late 80s and 90s by Black, trans, and Latino queer people in New York City. And basically what they do is they have categories where, individuals or houses. A house is basically, it comprises of a house mother or a house father, and they have different children. They are not related.
It's like a team.
Yes, it's a team, basically. It's a sport, if you actually look at it. And people basically compete in these different categories to, to get glory and shine from the community, and most importantly, to get a trophy for a category. So an example of a category would be like face or runway, or a Vogue category as well, because a lot of categories in Ballroom involve dancing and the showcasing of like arts and fashion. So yeah, that's basically what it is.
So Lelo is DJing, right? And there are hundreds of people either side and around this runway losing their minds. And there is an MC who is screaming for anybody from the crowd to come up and compete. And they come up onto the runway and then they strut to one end and then the other. Then there are these esteemed judges.
Yes.
And people are hoying their opinions. There's not quite booing, but there's a famous phrase called chop, which essentially means you need to get off stage. You're not bringing the level required, right?
Exactly.
And what I also love about the voting is, from a judge, you can only get a 10 or a 0 or chop. There's no middle. Either you're superb or you're out.
Absolutely.
And then at the end, someone can win. And it's also so inclusive. Like women, straight women were walking the runway, queer people walking the runway. It was really phenomenal. And again, it's like, how well can you walk? How well can you dance? How well can you do this style of performance called voguing? How well can you beat your face?
Yes.
So exciting. What did you particularly love about Saturday?
I particularly loved just seeing people come together. I think for me, I know that I've done my job when I see people just generally having fun. Because the space is not only for me, but it's for them as well, to just come and celebrate and, just be themselves.
Yeah, and tell me a little bit, there was a moment where somebody walked the runway with a big Ghana flag. And as far as I understand, there's a bit of a story behind what's happening in Ghana right now. And I think a queer couple, 2 men who attended the event.
Yes.
Can you tell us the story of that?
Yeah, so There are two gay men that flew to Ghana to basically show Ghana love. I think that's the campaign that they were doing with another NGO. And it was basically for them to just spread awareness of, of love and inclusivity, but particularly because, the Ghanaian government is trying to pass a bill to, to basically criminalize, queerness and having queer love, basically. And it was just a protest. And the whole agency came to Vogue Nights to basically wrap up that story of like, we're here, we're queer, and to basically stop the bill from happening. So it was a protest in that form.
Yeah, and a lot of it is very political. A lot of people were there making big statements, whether it be on Palestine or Sudan or similarly. Why do you think it is such a unique space in that it's so safe for people who often are not just ostracized, but are in danger living day-to-day life in South Africa, to be able to go there and be extremely political in their beliefs?
And I think it's mainly because the queer community is so heavily invested in, being, political, because it is a group that has been ostracized for so many years. Queer people have had to fight for their rights. Their right to be seen, their right to love. And I think it's such an important space where we can actually speak up, not only for the queer community, but for the allies who are, showing up in that space as well. So it gives everyone an equal opportunity to just show up and, protest. Yeah.
So this is just one of many things that you do, which is really extraordinary.
Yeah.
Tell me how you became an international superstar, like a serious, big-time headlining all over the world. Just first start with where you've DJ'd, because for anybody in the crowd right now who wants to travel for life, DJ but proper, not these orcs lovers who make a Spotify playlist, like real proper DJing, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I've DJ'd in Ibiza, Berlin, Barcelona. Quite a few places, actually. There's actually still some more places I need to go. I was meant to go to London as well.
Okay.
But, there's just a lot of things that have been happening. But, yeah, basically DJ'd everywhere around South Africa as well. Major events like Ultra, Rocking the Daisies.
Yeah. And something else you might know is that many South African DJs do a lot of good work for the country by taking our music to the world, right? So like DJ Lag in Europe, for example, not Destruction Boys or Munye. You all know it was Welcome to New York first, ne? And history will remember. But tell me about the style of music that you play, that particularly South African style of music that you love to play, that you often are booked to do overseas. Because South Africa, we are loved and adored and wanted by the music industry around the world.
Yeah, I particularly focus on African electronic music, which is Afrotech, Afro House, Gqom specifically. And I'm just a lover of that music and that style of sound.
And where do you think the culture is going now? You've been doing, particularly the queer culture and all of its forms, the fashion and the music and the performance, all of that stuff is going now that there are these more and more established event series and communities across South Africa. Vogue Nights, Joburg is 7 years old, etc. What are you looking forward to happening next in this country?
I am looking forward to a lot more events that are similar to VNJ happen across the country. I know that there's one happening in Gqeberha as well, a ball. So it's interesting to see like something that I've started and, similar spaces opening up and popping up, around the country. I think ultimately that was definitely my goal because there are queer people all over the country, and I'd love for them to share in the sort of like joy and community as well and building up their own things.
It's amazing. Yeah. And Lelowhatsgood, I want to end with like, where do you get your inspiration from? Like when you look around South Africa right now, and you're allowed to say Tyler, even though everybody says Tyler, but like who are the South Africans who are making you dream and imagine and think bigger? I don't know if you guys know the iconic fashion designer Tebe Magugu performed at Vogue Nights on Saturday nights, so people like that. But who else, queer or otherwise, is inspiring you at the moment where you think they've got that thing? Just wait until the world finds out about that thing.
Yeah. Definitely inspired by Masparty, Leaky Leagues. There's quite a lot of like underground, queer artists, and even artists from like Cape Town as well. They're just doing the house music thing as well. So I definitely look at my community and who's next to me as inspiration and seeing how we can all build together. And yeah, it's just fantastic to see.
Man, well, I'm so happy that you weren't so hungover and tired that you could actually be on TV today. Make some noise for the wonderful Lelowhatsgood.